guys. Hope you're doing good. Okay. So, welcome to the episode 1 of season 1 of GSoCquers podcast of Liquid Galaxy. So, the objective of this podcast is to keep things interesting and fun as we are 2 weeks into GSoC 2024. And this podcast episodes will be streamed twice every month until GSoC. And then after GSoC, it will be once every month. And we will discuss more interesting tech stuff and developments in the tech space in the next 1 hour. So let's dive into it. Passing the mic to mentor Andreu, who is the organization admin, the face of Liquid Galaxy.
You mean me? I thought it was you, the one that is going to be presenting. I have to tell now? Seriously?
Okay, sure. Okay, so mentor Andreu will now be talking about the statistics of how Liquid Galaxy has performed during the Google Summer of Code, and also the statistics regarding Google Summer of Code.
So, Vedant, excuse me. Let's do this in some more funny way. You're doing okay, but I mean, keep relaxed. This is something relaxed. At this moment, there are something like 3 persons, even us, so not too much. Later will come other people. So, we are in a family, in the Liquid Galaxy project community family. So. And also, as I told you just before we enter to the streaming, we are not really 3, 6, and 7 persons. If you can take a look at the streaming, we are 7, 6.5 person. And Mahinour, who is the half person? Who is the half person?
I'm not sure. Yes, I think the model, the AI model. Gemini.
Yes. We have Gemini with us. He's controlling us. He's with us on the streaming. If you take a look at the streaming later, you will see there is a window of the streaming. At any moment, we can ask Gemini whatever thing. So I think, Vedant, that before to start, there is another question you have to ask. Please introduce every one of the persons that we are here.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah, I missed that.
Would be something
I missed that.
Okay,
I'm the presenter and I didn't present anyone. So let's roll back. Let's roll back. Let me do it.
Roll back.
No.
Roll back.
I'm just launching the entry again. And now.
Okay. Let's go. Okay. So, hello guys. Welcome to the episode 1 of season 1 of GSoCquers podcast. And
really?
The objective of this podcast. Yes, then again.
No, you don't have to present again this. You have to introduce the people on the streaming.
Okay. So, we have
no, don't
6 people.
It's funny because I want to make it funny. And also, Vedant offered as be the presenter, so he has to hard work for being the presenter. Introduce people here. You have to be the one introducing. Go.
Okay, so we have mentor Andreu, who is the organization admin.
Hello, how are you?
Okay. We have mentor Yash, who is the senior mentor at Liquid Galaxy.
Maybe some important
we
thing
have...
is no. So, excuse me. This is alpha episode. In the first one, we will do it better. You have to present the person, and also it's a very important thing to ask the person what is in the world, because we are representing a world community and we have a few countries there. So, where are you? Who are you?
Okay, right. All right. This has been a learning session. Okay. So, so mentor Andreu, tell us about you and where are you?
Hello, I'm mentor Andreu. I'm one of the few Liquid Galaxy admins for the world project. I am in Lleida. I don't know if you know where Lleida is. Lleida is I would say a small city. We are something like 150,000 inhabitants. That compared with any small city of India is something like a peanut. and this image I have for virtual behind me is the old cathedral, the Laseo Cathedral. It's well known because we always show it. And yes, Lleida, Spain. Liquid Galaxy admin. Back to you.
Right, okay. And let's get things in place. I will introduce myself because that was the first thing I should have done. So I am Vedant Singh. I am back here in India and I am a senior mentor at Liquid Galaxy and I was a contributor last year. Okay. And then I have another person who is in India who is a mentor like me, mentor Yash.
Hi, I'm Yash. I'm also the senior mentor for Liquid Galaxy. Been a mentor last year. Before that, was a contributor. I'm very excited to be here live from India, and I just hope that I can just teach people about UX and just do some fun things in this meeting.
That's great. That's great. And we have another person from India, Manas.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Manas. I am a contributor here at GSoC in Liquid Galaxy 2024. And I'm very excited to be present in this podcast today.
And yes, that was Manas. And we have another person from the tombs of Egypt, the pyramids of Egypt.
Yes, hello
Mahinour.
everyone. Hello everyone. My name is Mahinour from Cairo, Egypt, and I was a GSoC contributor with Liquid Galaxy last year, and I'm a contributor again with Liquid Galaxy this year, and I'm very excited to be here today joining this podcast.
And we have someone from the extreme west, Mr. Ryan.
Hello. My name is Ryan. I'm from Vancouver, BC, Canada. It's very early here. It's like 7 a.m. But I'm surviving. Yeah, and I'm just very excited to be here with everyone, just to have fun and just have a good conversation. But yeah.
Yes, and we have Gozie, who is a guest.
Go. Gozie Williams.
All right, so I'm Gozie Williams, and joining you right from Nigeria, the west of Africa. I'm a Flutter developer, and I'm here to talk interesting things in tech. Thank you.
So the half not person, because it's not a person, is Gemini, and I'm just asking him a question, or he, or I don't know, it a question that Mahinour has said. I am asking Gemini, can you repeat a Google Summer of Code more than a year? Let's see what it says. Yes, you can participate in Google Summer of Code more than 1 year. There are no restrictions. Oh, this is bad. It says, it's typical. It says you can repeat more than 1 year, but this is no. There is no restriction on the number of times. Who knows the right answer? Williams, do you know the right answer? No. Ryan, go.
Is it three? It's 2 or 3 times, right?
You don't know the answer, so you seem to be like Gemini. No. You have to say the right. Mahinour, you know how much?
Yes, I think only 2.
Yeah.
2. Yeah.
No, only 2.
Okay.
No, that's a lot. You can repeat. So you are the one repeating here.
Yes.
You are the one repeating. Okay. So let's do the right thing. Gemini, you can only do 2 years at GSoC. Let's see what it answers. You are absolutely right. This is typical. There seems to be a misunderstanding in my previous response. The rules state that you can only be selected twice. Fantastic. Second try, Gemini does it well. Very good, Gemini. Vedant, go back to you.
Yes, and I think that it should have took the first shot. Is it okay? It should have been the right one in the first response. And okay, so let's continue. Okay, so let's begin with Mentor Andreu. Let's see what's happening with Liquid Galaxy, GSoC, with the statistics.
It's me again? Oh, you make me talk too much. You are the presenter. Don't make me talk. I'm also the producer. Remember, I have 7 screens in front of my desk. 5 very big ones and 2 smaller ones. Okay, so I'm not going to look at the camera because I have to look to my top right screen. And I will explain you a few statistics about this year GSoC. For example, I say more than 7,000 views on our main and unique GSoC 2024 post. Contacted with us this year. Since the very beginning, we opened, I will say, the email. It was around November last year. 740 people have interested contributors have contacted us. Contacted means that has sent some emails, have asked some things in the Discord, whatever. So this is the 740 persons. So from there, we receive at the end 37 final proposals, real proposals at the GSoC Google Summer of Code Google platform. And a very important thing, only 5 of those 37 proposals were spam. Any of you know what spam proposals are? No? Go with that.
Spam proposals are basically like they just want to give it a shot and have not worked hard at making a proposal, neither reaching out the community.
Good definition, not work hard. There are some spammy proposals that have 3 paragraphs. If you compare with Mahinour's proposal with 30 pages, 3 paragraphs to 30 pages. So really spammy, nothing behind the proposal. So very bad. So what else? Those numbers are really old, because those numbers are from our post in the liquidgalaxy.eu website. Till we received the 37 proposals, more than 1,000 emails. 1,000 emails. And remember, all of those go to my account, plus the account of the Liquid Galaxy Lab, and also to the account of my colleague Claudia is co-admin with me. What else? We have developed before GSoC, and I would say now, of course, it's increasing, more than 30 streamings like today's one. But today's one is not a training one. We have done many streamings for training the community, and you have developed. Most of you, I don't know. Maybe Gozie, you didn't. You did also presentation. I don't remember. You did a previous presentation in our community, a standalone streaming.
No.
So Manas, you did. Vedant, you did. Just do that. Ryan, Mahinour, Yash, of course. So all of you did presentations training the community with your knowledge, sharing your knowledge. That's the point about the community. And also we have, before GSoC started, we have 7 community meets. That's global meets of all the people in the community that wants to be there. And now we are going to go for the 4th, I think, this next Thursday, that will be focused on artificial intelligence projects. We have 12 projects this year, and 7 of them are artificial intelligence based. So we are having some, I will say, comments or discussions about this. What else? Our Discord community has more than 700 members. And then I have to make a joke. Being a Discord community member is like a joke, because you just go there, say, I'm interested in this channel, and you do nothing. But at least before GSoC, the community was very active. Now it's totally like Ryan, sleepy, because it's 7 in the morning in Canada. This is the one most I like. Contributors that want for real to get on GSoC have developed 160 pre-required tasks. Task 1 being the most developed. I mean, every person that wanted to apply to the GSoC for this year have to do one task. That was the very first one. Manas, which was the first one?
Connecting to the Liquid Galaxy.
I would say not connecting. I would say another word. Ryan.
Setting up.
Just setting up your like LG rig.
You have to set up your full Liquid Galaxy, and of course you have to connect the tablet or whatever virtual stuff you have, but setting it up.
Yeah.
So it's more than the connecting. So, and the thing is that we have published, I would say, most of the videos. I don't remember exactly, but maybe there are something like 50 videos with people installing the Liquid Galaxies in their machines. This year we didn't have anyone with real machines, but we have had in the past contributors that have access in the university or whatever to many computers. And I remember one guy from India that has 5 laptops at home, 5, not 3, 5 laptops, and he installed the Liquid Galaxy in 5 laptops. HP laptops. Was amazing. So we lost someone. We lost Gozie, and meaning that we lost Gozie, it means that we have also problems in our streaming. I don't like this. I have to adjust the logos and continue. and Gozie will come back, and then I will have to adjust again. What else? And to finish, global GSoC statistics till the end of the starting of GSoC. 6,500 contributors submitted 9,000 proposals. 9,107. The highest number in our 20 years, because I don't know if you know, this year is the 20th year of GSoC, 20th anniversary. And for Liquid Galaxy is the 14th. We started back in 2010. But we have meaning Google has on the platform almost 44,000 people registered in the platform. But one thing is registering for the program. Another thing is be able to send up a real proposal that any community will manage to accept as a good proposal. Those are different things. It's like I told you, 740 people went to the Liquid Galaxy interested, but only 37 presented a real proposal. And from those 37, we have 12 projects. The 12 projects we have Super Liquid Galaxy Controller, AgroTask Manager, Wildfire Tracker for Liquid Galaxy, Artificial Intelligence Fictional Travel Itinerary Generator. Here is Gozie again. Gozie, try to stay on the meet, because if not, I lose the design of the meet, and then I have problems. Okay, Williams.
All right. Yeah, good.
If you have to leave, just close your camera, but don't leave, please. What else? And as I said, 7 of these 12 projects were artificial intelligence based. We have a new logo for the artificial intelligence Liquid Galaxy. I thought I have some stickers here. Yes, I have one sticker here. We have the new logo, Liquid Galaxy II. This is not a new logo for the Liquid Galaxy. This is a Liquid Galaxy specifically for the II projects. You all know, because you have to insert this logo in the projects. And just a second before I pass the word again to Vedant. We have next Thursday, we have the artificial intelligence meet. It's gonna be closed, the meet, but open for the public in the YouTube streaming, and then for the community. And then important days are the midterm review show that will be on July 13. And I don't know if you remember my words, but time goes so fast. We are on June 18th, and we are almost a month to the midterm review. And then we will have in August 23 the demo day, the day that we all show up, all the projects in the full whatever status they have. And also, and totally last, is that we are hosting a song contest made with artificial intelligence. And only one person has presented a real entry for now, but I hope more persons present entries, because entries are so easy to do. I remember Ryan started, and who is the other ones? Vedant, you too, started to do some songs, because it's crazy. You just go there and make a prompt, and it creates an amazing song. So we have to create nice songs for the Liquid Galaxy, and then we have some nice prizes, some cash, and some Google swag prizes that will be sent to wherever country you live in the world. Remember, we are here: India, Egypt, Canada, and Nigeria, and Spain. Not bad. That's I wanted to say. Go back to you, Vedant.
That's great, and crazy stats, by the way. And I've realized, since I've been a mentor for a while now, I mean a month, that it is a crazy difficult job to be managing all the projects, and the team is also working very hard. Earlier, I used to think, it is easy, it is a piece of cake. I mean, managing only 12, 13 projects. But then later I thought 12, 13 projects is so much more than other organizations and how they have to manage it. And there are so many things that, need to be taken care of. So I realized that, and I learned a lot.
Welcome.
Learning.
Welcome to GSoC, to
And-
the real one, behind the scenes. And yes, you can take a look at to Mahinour, because next year Mahinour will be mentor too.
Yes.
Yes, I'm
And
planning
then
on
she
that.
will learn.
And maybe Ryan. Okay,
Hopefully.
muted.
Yeah. But yeah.
continue.
Then Ryan and Mahinour will have the great realization, and I will be in place of mentor Yash with 2 years as a mentor. Okay. So Mahinour, so you have a topic you were talking about, right?
Yes, I have an interesting topic that I wanted to share with you. I don't know if anyone heard about linear programming before. Has anyone heard about it?
No, what is it? I mean, I'm
Okay,
like a 5-year-old kid right now, so you need to teach everything.
Yeah, okay. So linear programming is a mathematical model that is used to determine the best possible outcome in a given model with linear relationships. And it simply maximizes or minimizes a linear objective, and it is subject to a set of linear constraints. A simple example of how linear programming is used, for example, a distribution company can maybe want to minimize the total distance that trucks are going. So given a set of delivery locations, and the objective is to find the shortest possible routes that allow the deliveries to be made and satisfied, and while sticking to constraints such as the delivery time or the capacity of the trucks. And linear programming has many applications such as logistics, manufacturing, finance, and many more. And I can tell you how we can use linear programming in a Liquid Galaxy, and to show it in a nice visual way with Google Earth. But first, let me tell you that linear programming can be solved with Google OR tools. I don't know if anyone heard about Google OR tools before, but it includes solvers, and these solvers help to solve the linear programming problems. And it includes, it supports many languages such as C++, Python, and Java. And now I'm going to tell you how we can integrate linear programming with Liquid Galaxy and Google Earth. So, for example, if we have a use case such as optimizing evacuation routes in disaster-prone areas, the objective here is to minimize the total evacuation time while considering constraints such as the road capacities and the number of evacuees. And by integrating this, we can visualize the optimized evacuation routes on the map using the KML files. And I can tell you too how we can enhance one of the current GSoC projects, which is the AI fictional itinerary generator for LG. Currently, we can use this linear programming to enhance this, where the input can be the list of touristic attractions, the location, opening hours, and the user's budget. And the objective here would be to maximize the number of attractions visited and maximizing the overall satisfaction of the satisfaction score based on the user preference. And the constraints can be the for example, respecting the opening hours or not exceeding the user's budget and aligning with the user preference. And the output can be the optimal travel itinerary. For example, the best sequence of visits that maximize the user experience. And we can then visualize all this on the Liquid Galaxy using KMLs, displaying the routes, the points of interest, and other info interactively. So this is briefly what is linear programming and how it can be used with Liquid Galaxy.
So you are using this on your
Okay.
project, Mahinour?
No, I'm not using it, but I think it could be good for future projects or for integration with future projects.
Vedant?
Right. So your, I'm sorry. What is the name of your project again?
No, it's not my project, but one of the projects are the AI fictional travel itinerary generator for LG. I think it can be used with integrated with linear programming, as it can be very good and as a feature enhancement. So
Right. Nice.
One thing out
Maybe
of
take note.
One thing out of the script again is that, guys, just we are on, I would say, on a beta of this program. So one thing is that you have to insert on the document, on the script, you have to insert links for outside images or videos, because we are lovely guys, but if we stay 45 1 hour talking faces, this has not too much sense. So for example, just now I open a window on my right system and I just put it on the screen. You are not seeing it, but in this moment we have the OER tools, Google for Developers, on the screen, talking about the thing about routing and so on that Mahinour explained. So for next streamings, for the next GSoCquers, please add to the script some images or point to videos, because this way I can show some other graphical information next to our faces. Okay? So excuse me, Vedant, this is your first time. I'm going to stop you all day long. Just next time, maybe I leave you alone.
No problem at all. I too am learning. I'm too at a very steep learning curve.
So considering
how I started.
As I said, and at this moment, our faces are not on the screen. I'm having the other screen, the OER tools from Google. So again, our faces. Go ahead.
Right. So you talked about something about finding the shortest distance. So it is it like one of those shortest distance algorithms like Dijkstra's and all?
For example, it uses one of the shortest path algorithms. Yes, inside the Google OR tools, it includes some heuristics, and it's more complicated because it's NP-complete problems. So it uses some heuristics to solve these problems.
And does it give something more than the shortest path, or only the shortest path?
No, it can give anything. Just an example for the shortest path, but it can give you anything you want as an output. For example, maybe if you want to, well, I don't have anything in mind right now, but it can give you many more according to the problem you're solving. So it's just not restricted to the shortest path only.
Okay.
For example, yes, something came in mind. For example, if you also want to assign items to a vehicle, you want to know how many items the vehicle can carry. So it can show you in the output how many items the vehicle can carry in the route, for example, or something. So it can give you anything. It's not restricted to the shortest path.
Right, that's nice. That's actually interesting. Earlier, I thought it was very similar to shortest path, but that's actually interesting.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, any thoughts on it?
Well, that's very interesting topic. I've never actually heard of linear programming until just now. So it's very intriguing to listen to. Yeah. Very cool.
Even I myself heard about it right now. Earlier, I only knew about linear mathematical equations. Now,
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mentor Yash.
So I believe it is my turn now.
No, it is Ryan.
No, I mean your thoughts on Mahinour's crazy.
I liked it. I have to research it a bit before giving any suggestions. I just find it amazing. So I just love to research these things.
Right, that's great. See, Mahinour, you've opened our eyes to something really interesting.
Yeah.
Manas?
No, just that never heard of linear programming before, and like the implication that it could be integrated in one of the projects in the current GSoC or the future projects is very interesting. Would have to research more on it though.
Yes, actually, and I would suggest the contributors who are working on the itinerary generator where it can be used. And Gozie, your thoughts on it?
All right. I've heard of linear programming as a mathematics student. My discipline is in mathematics, first degree, and my second degree is in industrial mathematics. So I've heard about linear programming time without number. I mean, my research work in my first degree was in mathematical programming of robotics, vacuum cleaner, and where I deal with optimization of optimal parts for the vacuum cleaner. So it's linear programming is basically, it has to do with anything that is about optimization, the optimal result or feasible result of what you're looking for. So that is where linear programming comes in. Thank you. I'm so happy to hear that again.
That's actually interesting. So you do you work with a lot of hardware? I mean, you talked about vacuum cleaners and all. So do you work with a lot of hardware, only software?
All right. So I simulated my mathematical modeling. First of all, I had to have the problem, define the problem, and then express the problem into mathematical equations, then solve the mathematical equation to give me a model, and then translate the model to real life solution and interpretation, and then simulated it using MATLAB, where you could use your mathematical programming languages and some other things like that.
Right. That's really interesting, and I believe it is difficult because I've had a bit of tough time with mathematics. No, I'm learning though. I'm learning. Okay. So, Mentor Andrew, do you have anything on the topic? That's okay. That's great. That's great. So, let's go to Ryan. Let's see what he has to talk about.
Yeah, I was just I actually just recently kind of came up on this because I know with so many AI tools coming out very recently throughout like the last maybe 2-3 years. I think the most notable one, obviously, I think to the public is probably ChatGPT. I think just being able to like access it for free and like just be easy to use, just create an account and just start asking questions and then like being able to respond. I think it's a very, very like cool thing. But what I actually did not realize is that I feel like it's somewhat hidden. But if you go to ChatGPT and there's like a section called Explore GPTs, there's actually like a lot of different models that are actually available, not just like the usual text-to-text prompt. I personally did not know about this until like maybe a week or two ago because my friend was just showing me because we were like planning to do a hackathon and she's like, let's go through some of the what our options are, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know this existed. But I think there's a lot of cool things. So like there's like stuff that like you can create videos, create like Canva designs for you. Anything sort of like academic too, it can help you like write tailored like engaging content. I think it's just like creating images, and I was like, how did I just discover this? But it's like I think it's just like very interesting to see like how far AI has come, because I think like maybe 4 years ago, maybe before like pandemic, AI wasn't really like a big thing. If you went to someone and just asked about AI, they would be like, okay, like and they know about it, but they haven't really, I guess, experienced a lot of it. But from speaking from like today, I think just the growth has been like very amazing. So I think it's just amazing to see all these tools kind of come to place. And then I think another thing that was very intriguing is that a lot of the models listed were actually not all made by OpenAI, but rather like external companies, and people are able to contribute to the list as well, as long as they have like a valid model, valid training and everything. And so I think especially with like the availability of like open source tools such as like TensorFlow like by Google, PyTorch, and like Hugging Face, I think it's just like very amazing that anyone is really able to like help and contribute, just like how Liquid Galaxy is open source. I think it's just amazing how anyone is just able to help out and really create something that they're passionate about. And actually, let me share my screen. Is it okay if I share my screen for like a few seconds?
No, you cannot.
Oh, I can't. Okay.
No, you cannot.
Okay.
We cannot share the screen.
Okay.
But, actually, Ryan, the GPTs are on the screen. You are not seeing it on the streaming, but I am showing the GPT page from OpenAI.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so if you really explore, there's a lot of like, I think the one I really found interesting in like for my particular stuff was like the image generator, because I think like if it's like text, I think it's a bit more different, because like for images it has to make sense for a person to like visually like, if you have a dog, we know what a dog looks like. So it's just, I think it's very like intriguing to see like AI being able to generate images that it makes sense to us and not just like to them as well. So I think it's very intriguing. So like when I ask it to like can you like create a picture of a dog or whatever, and it's like how accurate it is, I was like very surprised to see how far the models have come in the last few years. I'm like very intrigued by like fields of technology that we're like dealing with. I'm very excited to like integrate, the latest AI techs that we have to like Liquid Galaxy apps for this year. 7 out of 12 projects being AI. So yeah, it's fun, very intriguing. But yeah.
Okay, so you're talking about the GPT store, right? Which was released at the last OpenAI event.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah. So I didn't explore much of the multimodal part, but I actually set up an organization and launched 3 of my GPTs. So one was a legal navigator to, navigate the legal infrastructure if there is any legal help. Then that's one thing. Then there was a global etiquette guide, how you can explore different cultures. Let's say you are going to some other country. So how you can dress, what kind of food you'll get, and how you should behave at the table manners. And then I also had something on the taxing system. We have something with GST here. It's a goods and service tax. It's a common tax where everything is included. So, to find tax loopholes and something like that. Yeah, so that was something. And overall, I think it is very interesting, the whole GPT store concept and GPTs. And I never, navigated the multimodal part of it. Now I will after this stream. So, Mahinour, do you have anything to say on it?
Yeah, I can say that I'm also intrigued by the new technologies of the AI and GPT models, and all of this stuff are really interesting, and they can be used in many use cases for normal people and for developers. So I think they're really good.
I'm sorry, I'm smiling if you noted, because I have to deal with the screens, and I'm showing the GPT store while Ryan was talking. And then I suddenly get wrong, listening to your words get wrong, and I show my WhatsApp web application on the streaming. WhatsApp streaming is nothing secret, but I was. So let me tell you one thing, Ryan, and in common. There are 2 things I'm thinking about this. First of all, at first sight, we're not gonna use ChatGPT technology with Liquid Galaxy technology. I say at first sight for 2 reasons. Those are not open source; those are paid services. So we as a community will try to use open source, and also free services, because we don't have usually budget. Another question is that in the future you develop your own apps, you have budget for the apps, fantastic. You can use whatever model, whatever service you want. But also there is another question. Maybe, I don't know if you're aware, that they are having lots of troubles with the the GPT's store. The problem is that it was open, then suddenly very strange GPTs started to appear, so they have to close the store, because when you leave this open to the world, strange things can happen.
It happens.
So it happened, and then they have to close it, and then I'm pretty sure they have plenty of human people reviewing the GPTs, the people upload to the store, because you can get problems opening the doors to everyone doing whatever they want. And more on the AI, that is a very, I would say, complicated thing. But I was just exploring while you talk the different. They have many, and they have some kind of separate things like trending ones, the most used ones. If you want to write, if you want to paint, if you want to be productive. The Canva one is the most used in productivity. They say that they have more than 2 million conversations among the GPT from Canva. That's a lot. So that was my comment, Josh. Vedant.
Yes, right. And I believe it is mostly their technology as well, right? You cannot use your own model, so it's how much can you train the model on videos? So there's also a restriction, right? Because it's ultimately not your model. Right. And talking about there are 2 million conversations, I believe privacy is at this point really a myth.
Regarding the training thing, you can train it with your own data. So there is a section talking about developers that is going to be now on the screen, not this screen, the meet screen, but on the YouTube streaming. Developers can connect GPTs to the real world. That's some kind of the rack technology that maybe Mahinour and some others will present us on Thursday. Is that you can connect with external data and interact with the real world. You can connect to databases, into emails, into whatever, and then the GPT is not alone. The GPTs are not alone, but connected to the real data from outside, and they more than training, you can make it more intelligent, I would say, because they can use real stuff and up-to-date stuff, and not only whatever information they were training at the moment they were training.
Right, interesting. When I used to, when I made mine, all I provided was some PDFs of knowledge. So when I was making the taxing system, so every state has a different tax law. So I downloaded the tax PDFs of all the rules, and then I provided it of every state. There are some 29 states in India. So I provided it to them, and that's all I had to do. And I don't know how it will work in terms of video. That's what I was talking about. So in terms of video, how much data can you actually provide, right?
Let's gonna change the script for a second, Vedant, and we have to accelerate after. But let me show. I'm gonna show something in the main screen. You are not the ones in the mid. You are not saying, but you believe me, or open your phone and have your phone muted. Do you all of you know about Notebook LM from Google? Notebook LM. Yes.
Heard about it.
Notebook LM. You heard about. William says. So you know about it, William?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
You used, but you didn't use it.
I didn't use it.
So it's now on the screen, and I'm just saying it because it's very simple. Is something regarding to the point you were talking about, the PDF stuff and so on. So you can add, in this moment is on the streaming, you can add your Drive files, whatever you have, PDF, text files, you can copy paste, or you can use web pages, URLs from web pages. But in Drive, whatever you have in your Drive, it's a video, it's a photo, it's a text, whatever, PDF, whatever, you just connect the Notebook LM from Google. At this moment is free and experimental. You connect it to your data, upload your data, or connect to your data, and then this is automatically Gemini, whatever version you have, against your own data at the moment. So for example, I was showing up that I tested with the GSoC, and then I suddenly upload a lot of our GSoC documents, and I started to ask questions about those documents, and it was totally trained on my own data. You can ask instantaneously sobre whatever you upload to the system. So remember, Notebook LM. And again for you, Vedant.
Right, that's interesting. That's actually interesting. And Mentor Yash, your thoughts on Ryan's revelations?
I've been finding these Gen AI models really interesting. I would say I've been a bit sleeping on these because of more being in the UX part than the AI. Recently, I built a chatbot using Grok in my own industry, and I find it really nice and convenient. It had all the answers based on the product. We fed it with like hundreds of various questions and answers, and it was able to answer those questions which have been not fed, and it really, I would say, got a hike in our sales. So yeah, this is very good, and we would be doing it for more of the products as well.
That's great to hear. Actually, that's great. And I believe everyone has to adapt to AI, with time. So irrespective of the field. Okay, Manas?
Yes, as Ryan said, I've also gone through and navigated through the ChatGPT store. I've recently had our university exams, so we get these PDFs. So I uploaded those PDFs and asked them give me some 5 most important questions, and I basically used it for my exam preparation as well.
That's a great.
Actually, when I was in college, I did too. I majorly used ChatGPT after it was released. Yes, and ChatGPT, Gemini, then also Claude for uploading PDFs. So that's something AI has been helping a lot with my studies, and that's when when my grades actually boosted up. Gozie, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, according to Ryan, there's much we can do with AI and improve on it and use the socket for whatever we want to use and get the best from it. So AI has come to stay. That's the truth, and we'll keep working on it. Thank you.
Great. Nice to hear. Okay. So, Manas, so you have more to offer on LLMs, right?
Yes, definitely. So, continuing with what Ryan said and what everyone discussed about currently, like LLMs like ChatGPT and Gemini have like obviously like changed, or much rather I would say revolutionized the way we like work and we study, etc. So like alongside this huge models which are present online, there various different major companies have also released their open source LLMs. So for example, Gemma by Google, Llama by Meta, Falcon, etc. So all these LLMs have increased the accessibility towards the general public. So it has made it easier for individuals which don't have enough knowledge of technical knowledge of regarding machine learning to someone who is a tech whiz to use the LLMs in their machines. So what the users now can do is they can fine tune and deploy the LLMs on either like cloud-based servers or local platforms. So like, but it is very crucial to like get a balance between the advantages and disadvantages of both the worlds. So for example, when you are like using local servers or like your local machine, there is an elephant in the room. So I'll address it. It is the hardware, because running such large language models it is very expensive. First and foremost, because you need to have a like great GPU, which has good RAM, good VRAM, etc. So it is very resource intensive. You need just a CPU is not enough. You need a dedicated GPU. This is one of the biggest disadvantages, followed by and the majority of the advantages can be listed as, for example, if you already have the physical hardware with you present there, then you can lower the cost of, for example, using a cloud-based streaming cloud-based service to access a model, because you already have it in your you already have the resources with you. The second is like a greater privacy. So when you train your model with your local data, you have it in your own system only. So it is better for your privacy. The next most important thing can be for some people that it can be used offline. So you don't need to have a connection to run the models on your system. Next is latency. It can be reduced because it is directly communicating through your system hardware. Censorship can be avoided. Many models have censorship-less variants of them, which you can use. Also, you can have more control over the data, over the model. Where you can customize the temperature, you can the data, the software. If you want to deploy it on the local server, you want to run an API, etc. Everything you can control in your own hands. So there are various different softwares or frameworks which can be used to deploy such to use the LLMs locally. One of them I'll show. It is known as the GPT-4 for all. So it is one of the most beginner-friendly solutions for downloading and running LLMs on your local machines. You can just like customize the model by some sliders, etc., to get the better response. It has a similar UI to ChatGPT. Also, you can integrate OpenAI models in your system itself by adding the API keys of OpenAI inside the software. The next one which we can go through is the LM Studio. LM Studio is much better than the last one because, for example, in Hugging Face, if there is a model, like for example, Gemma, So the Gemma 2 billion model, it is directly provided by Google, but many other community in the community, many other creators, what they do is they fine tune the model for instruct formats, for GIFs, etc., and you get better models for your inferences, so that you can directly load those Hugging Face models in LM Studio itself. So it can be like the model which best suits your use case, etc. Also, you can run a local API's inference server. So you can directly have a address and you can directly hit a post API request with your prompt and you can get a generated response back. And also one of the major like defining thing for the software is its similarity with OpenAI's API format. So for example, if there is an existing organization which is using OpenAI's format of APIs, they can just replace the initial URL and they can use their overall backend as they need to. It is more customizable, and you can also like have two different models comparison, etc. The third software which I can talk about is llama.cpp. It is a more technically advanced version, so it is more efficient, but it is hard to use for beginners and very complex. You operate everything in a command line interface, etc. And you get a local, you get a UI. The UI of this software is a website which is hosted on the local host. Last but not the least, it's the Ollama. Ollama is a tool which like gets the LLMs through terminals. It is basically llama.cpp but upgraded for a better UI, for a better user experience. So it has the major models, not all, but Llama 3, Mistral, Gemma, etc. And multiple or applications also accept Ollama's integration into them. So for example, there are many VS Code integrations to run Ollama in your code editor itself. So you get you can chat to the LLM model through your VS Code. So the conclusion of the statements would be like they are very LLMs are very exciting and fun experience for the current generation which is going on in the software market, and to enjoy that with its privacy, more control, and with some enhancements, it is somewhat preferred to use the some LLMs privately if you have the resources, which is most important.
I think some of you are gonna use Ollama. Is possible, Mahinour, you are gonna finally use Ollama? I don't remember.
I used it to download the Gemma model, the 2 billion parameter, and yes, so I used it to download it to.
We are having problems with your connection, Mahinour. Your face has been freeze and your voice is totally incorrect. Are you Manas gonna use anything of this?
Yes. So currently, I'm thinking of using LM Studio or Ollama. That is not decided yet, but in my project, I think LM Studio will be suited better.
I was thinking. Well, when you were talking, I was showing some of the images, not from your document because you didn't. You have to put the link, the URL link, not the photo. Next time, remember the URL. Just because I click, then I can insert it on the streaming. So, but I was showing the Ollama website, and then I was curious about one question. Is that it says the very first line is now on the screen. It says Meta Llama 3 is the most capable openly available LLM to date. So, but it's 70 billion parameters. How do you run that in local? What machine do you need to run this locally? What kind of GPU? Or it runs everything on CPU too?
No, the thing is that the larger the model, like for example, 70 billion, 80 billion models, they require a lot more RAM on the GPU itself. So for example, if you have a GPU which has 24 GB or 50 GB RAMs, then you can like use those models there.
But with the 24 gigs GPUs, usually DDR5 or 6, this is enough. 24 gigs is enough to run the 70 billion parameters.
I don't think it is still enough for like running the 70 billion parameters model.
That's what my question was.
You need a bit more than they connect multiple GPUs together to run those sort of models.
So the point is that you have to have a multiple CPUs connected by SLI or whatever, and then because it will not fit on a 24 gigabytes. Okay. Questions?
Are there any greater GPUs? Greater GPU sizes more than 24?
Yes, there are. I think there is one the GPUs made by NVIDIA, which are made for this professional purposes itself.
But not consumer. Not consumer. I think
yes, consumer based. Yes.
Consumer is 24. I think you cannot get more than 24. But of course, you have the largest NVIDIAs that have as many RAM as you can pay.
There is rumors currently that the upcoming NVIDIA 5090 is going to be about 32 GBs of VRAM. So they are going to increase.
How much? The 5000 ones, how much is going to have?
5090.
Yeah, the 5090 that is coming later this year. How much RAM?
32 GBs of VRAM.
32, but it will be still not enough to run a 70 billion parameters, I think. Yes, but you have, as you say, you have to have a SLI system with multiple retakes connected. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right. And I believe, with RAMs as well, in my laptop, there are 4 slots of 8 GB. So maybe we can, maybe GPUs also run somewhat like that. No, I think those are RAM chips, right? Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm wrong. Okay, Ryan, your thoughts on the topic?
It's very, very, very interesting. I think, especially with Llama, I think it's just, I guess, for now it's going to be harder for you to use for the general public. But I think, it has very, very good potential, seeing everything. So I think I'm very interested to see how this will end up in the future and hopefully integrate to the general public for anyone to use. But
Vedant, let me show. I'm gonna show a photo on the streaming. Because it's funny. I make a Google search for the higher capacity GPUs, and the question is the first entry is perfect. It is a Reddit entry, and it said there are currently no reasonable price. I mean, you can pay for it. Graphics card with lots of VRAM to run large models, and it says then after this it says some curious technical questions. Excuse me 1 second. Oh, we are losing the people. Who's the one that Mahinour has left the conversation? My mouse has run out of battery. The world is ending now. I have to connect my mouse. I'm just covering. When someone gets out the meet, we have some logos and some stuff, and then suddenly it changes. I have to move this again and again. Okay, so it's the ready thing, and then it says some solutions. The first solution is harass large manufacturers. So just send emails to the whatever integrators, to Gigabyte or whatever you use, and say, please give us a graphic card with more VRAM. Or pay smaller manufacturers and do a Kickstarter. So, and get an open source project started. Make your own graphics card with 1,000 gigabytes VRAM to run whatever model you want. So it's not easy it's not easy at this moment, the thing of running the large models in local.
Maybe they would register on Kickstarter and try to raise funds for it.
Okay, continue.
Right. Okay. So, Mentor Yash, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I have been liking how AI has been going. I would want to have better research on it, and specifically for the Google ones, the one that I made, Gemini and Gemini, I'll be trying on those models very shortly and benefiting my own company first. So let's see. And in the meanwhile, I'll be learning as well. So that's very good.
Right. Thanks. Gozie?
All right. According to Manance, Olamba seems to be an interesting project and on facilitating local execution of LLM. So I've heard about it, but I've never explored it. And the things that caught my interest in it is they talk about the offline access and the privacy and you could customize it. And those are the only things that caught my attention to it. But I've never. I believe with time I'm going to get my hands on it.
Right.
I ask Gemini
nice.
or half.
And Mahinour, does Olama ring a bell?
Sorry, 1 second. I ask Gemini or half person it in the chat, and I ask what is the largest VRAM GPU, and it says that the largest is 4090 with 24 gigs. Gemini says that. This means that this is not, that maybe this is not the truth, but he says that the 4090 with 24 gigs of RAM is the largest you can get. Of course, you can get 4 in a large motherboard, and then you have 100. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, maybe, I don't know if I can say anything on that. I don't know if Gemini is right or wrong at this point. Maybe you can ask if it is to give the more corrected information, just like last time.
I think in consumer, you think you can pay. There is nothing. There are some.
Right.
There are some larger cards, but they will rise for, I don't know, $6,000 or something like this. So good for a company is not good for persons. Next.
Okay. Mahinour, does Olama ring a bell?
Mahinour is not there. Is in London.
Yes.
She seems to be in London.
No, the camera is just not working correctly now. But yes, I have used Olama before. When I tried to download my model, the Gemma 2B and 7B parameter. So yes, I have actually used it.
Right. And you are using it in your current project as well, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes, I used it in my current project to download Gemma. And actually, it also has an integration with LangChain, which I'm also using in my project.
Right. Nice. That's good to hear, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Gozie, over to you. What are you going to talk about? Teach us more about.
All right.
You're muted.
So, yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I was supposed to talk about performance optimization method using the Flutter technology. Actually, it can be used across board, other technology, React Native, .NET, or whatever kind of technology you want to use. But I'm going to be using Flutter technology in my discussion. And optimization is very, very important because we've seen where users are very frustrated because the app is lagging, it's slow, it's not responsive, it's not smooth. And all these things could be as a result of memory being occupied, drainage, and so several things like that. So how to perform optimization using any of the technology? You could use code, dividing the code, when you divide your code, or code splitting. Now, where in Flutter, I think Flutter suggests the use of the file components for that. And then there's the profiler. You could use the profiler. The profiler, its profiling tools help identify performance bottlenecks. That's what it does in our application. And again, it detailed information about our CPU usage, memory allocation and other kind of metrics like that. So you could do that for the Flutter technology, you could do that by using the Flutter run -- profile, where you want to run, and it does that profiling for you on your terminal. Another one is the mechanism of caching. Caching is very, very important. We cannot underestimate the technique of caching in optimization. So, but if you're using the Flutter technology, you could use the package called the Flutter Cache Manager. You could do try and catch, where you could, return maybe circular progress indicator as you are trying to, maybe something is lagging or whatever is going on. So caching stores data that is expensive to retrieve or maybe compute. So that is what caching does. So it stores that data and then it reduces load time and improves the performance of that application. So caching is very important. And then there is the stateless widget. The stateless widget is very perfect in trying to optimize. Though we won't use stateless widget all the time, but stateless widgets are, because they are immutable and they do not require state management. So they are rebuked only when the parent widget is rebuked. So by that, it makes them more efficient in static content, and it could be used to optimize that. Then the cost keyword. The cost keyword, using the cost keyword in Flutter equally can help do that. It can help optimize because it equally indicates immutability and can be reused efficiently. The cost keyword, when you use the cost keyword, for example, the center maybe, and then you could just use const center and something like that. And then maybe you have a widget, you created a reusable widget, and then you could use your const widget on that and use it several times wherever you want to use it. And then the lazy loading. Now, the lazy loading is a technique where data or components are loaded only when they are needed. So rather than because when you're trying to fetch so many data at the same time in an application, it causes lagging, and you could trim it down to the ones that are needed at a time. And at that moment, you could use the lazy loading technique. There are several ways to do that in using the Flutter technology. And then the next one is the reducing complexity in build method. There are sometimes our code are so complex just because the UI is complex. So we make the code long and it's so complex. So if we really want to optimize, we have to reduce the complexity of our code and method of building. So keeping the build method simple and delegating complex UI code to smaller method or widgets helps in reducing rebuild and maintainability. So lastly, I'll talk about, this is not all, but I just want to stop here. But I believe if someone practiced this used it in whatever code architecture, it could help reduce some of the lagging. The last one I want to talk about is the effective use of list and grid. The grid implementation is very, very important. So when we use that code for Flutter technology, listview.builder or gridview.builder for displaying large lists or grids, what that does is that it ensures that only the visible items that we need at that moment, and it shows that they are bits at that moment, and then it maintain the memory and improves performance. So these are the little things I just want to talk about. The Flutter performance, because several times when you get into some applications, you're like, this application is not fast, it's lagging, it's not smooth, and several things, maybe because of proper optimization. Thank you.
Dash is happy. Dash is happy because you are treating him well. So, Mahinour, I know you like this Dash, but it's mine. It's my Dash.
I wish I can get one.
You have one, Gozie?
I said I wish I can get one.
Try to remember me. I know I meet, but maybe at the end of the campaign I can send you one of these.
All right.
Remember it to me. It's difficult.
Yeah,
I will try. I can call the bigger brother. Where is the bigger brother? Come in. I'm gonna make some jump here. Come in with me. Hup. Here's the big one. Here's the small one. Those are the two. So, very interesting because Gozie, students are starting to code. Most of them are starting to code their Flutter applications, but at some point in early July, when they have to send us the very first beta applications to start to dip in their user interfaces and the functionality of the applications, they will remember your words, how to optimize in the many different things. So we can return to this on mid-July when we say, okay, man or woman, we push there and you need 3 seconds to get the result of the screen is crowd or whatever other question happens. Vedant, now what is this lovely shirt you have, Vedant? Show it here. Show it. Oh, good.
Liquid Galaxy. Yeah.
Good.
Right. And I would say extremely useful information. I mean, when beginners start to code with Flutter, they do not consider performance a lot, but they should understand that it is very, very important. And in the future, if someone asks me about performance, I would say go to the episode 1 of season 1 of GSoCquers podcast and see see Gozie's part, because it is actually very, very important information, interesting and important at the same time. And do you work with Flutter a lot, Gozie?
Yeah, I work with Flutter as my role.
Yeah. Okay, great. That's great. Okay. So, Ryan, your thoughts on the topic?
I'm very interested because we use Flutter ourselves in Liquid Galaxy, and there's a lot of stuff that I guess I didn't know about, like how to optimize a lot of stuff. So it's very interesting to see all these options and I can use it in our future apps and my project as well. So it's very interesting to hear. Yeah.
We could use Gozie's experience when it comes to this, and beginners can learn a lot about performance from him. And mentor Yash.
Yeah, just been listening about the performance part. It is also a user experience spectrum that we should care about the performance and the speed or the loading speeds, the things that should be, I would say, available to the user as easy, the interactiveness and all the things, the performance really matters.
Right. Manas?
So yes, I first got into performance in my last internship itself, because we were shipping the application to thousands of users, where I faced a problem there actually with pagination. So from that point itself, I have started with getting to know more about the performance of the Flutter application. I'll be implementing some of these features which Gozie mentioned today in my final project itself.
Mahinour?
Yeah, I think this is a very important and useful topic because as Ryan mentioned, that we all use it in Liquid Galaxy or most of the projects. And this is very important to have a good user experience and to try to optimize our apps as much as we can. So yeah, I think it's very, very useful.
Yeah. And I would like to mention something off topic. You guys know Figma and how performant it is, right? So there is this tool, something just like the profiler in Flutter DevTools. It is called Speed Scope, and it is very useful for identifying, pieces of code which take a lot of time to overcome bottlenecks. So if you go to the internet and search about it, you'll find it very interesting performance-wise, and it can work with any technology. So just mentioning that in case anyone is struggling with performance in any other technology. And okay, so now it's me. I'll talk about something interesting, something beginners would be really interested in, and it's imposter syndrome. And let me talk about it. When I began contributing to open source, it was a bit difficult, because it's always difficult, because when you do not know anything about coding and you've seen your first few tutorials and you've come to the GitHub repository of large organizations, even Liquid Galaxy has tons of repositories, right? And any other open source organization like in GSoC or any other program, they have a lot of repositories, and each repository's code base is very difficult to understand in the beginning. But when you slowly start to, get in terms with it, it becomes easy. So what happens is people start to doubt their skills, which lead to anxiety and low self-esteem, and in very worst cases, even depression. Who knows, right? I've not experienced it, but I've definitely experienced low self-esteem and anxiety. And we try to, think about our skills as very less relative to other people, and we feel that our skills are inadequate to even contribute or to, even think that whether we belong in this organization or with other contributors. So that was the topic. And there are some misconceptions with it I will talk about. So when newcomers come in, they think they need to figure out the entire tech stack and the code right from the beginning, which I feel is very wrong. Because with time you understand everything. Every project has a vast tech stack, and with time a lot of the code is contributed to it. So that's one thing. And then another thing is that they think that they are not skilled and qualified enough for the project. Well, skill and qualification is something that can be learned with time, right? So if you don't try to learn more about the project, how will you become more skilled in the project, right? So that's one thing. And then they think that mentors will think that they are incompetent if they ask questions, which is not right at all. We love it when you guys ask questions, okay? And it just shows us that you are curious and that you are ready to learn, and that's what we are searching for. That's those are exactly the kind of people who excel in open source, right? And they think that if they make a PR, nobody will look at it, nobody will merge it, whereas that's not the case. Although it may take some time, people may look at your people will definitely look at your contributions. And when they get a review back, they think that it is a flaw in the code instead of an improvement. So there should be a mindset shift, being more optimistic. And yes, those are the things. Well, let me tell you what mentors actually expect from contributors. So we do not expect you to become a pro right from the beginning, but we expect you to know what you are doing and how you are doing, okay? And we know that with time you'll understand everything, okay? Because everyone does if you put in the work. So that's one thing. And asking questions, okay? So we expect you to ask questions, but we also expect you to not ask very, very silly questions, okay? Something that is a Google search away or a ChatGPT search or a Gemini search away. If you can get the answer from the internet or from a large language model, I think you should not ask that to a mentor, right? Because mentors usually have full-time jobs, or they are busy people, most of the mentors. So that would be a waste of time. They have a lot of tons of experience, right? So use it to your advantage. Don't ask silly questions which can be asked to anyone, okay? Ask it to your friends if you want to ask silly questions, And we expect updates on the assigned work. If you have some work assigned, we expect timely updates, Okay, it can be weekly, it can be daily, or maybe 2-3 days. And if there are any issues in case you can't meet deadlines, we expect it a little prior. That would be good to know earlier. Okay, and we expect you to interact. That's very important. So communication and interaction is very important when it comes to open source. So even if you are in a meet like a contributor meeting, we have good, come in, interact, talk a lot. When people come in contributor meetings at Liquid Galaxy, they don't talk a lot. They are usually very, very shy, and we expect you to talk. That would be really great. And even in Discord, okay, Discord has been dry for a while now, but we expect that people talk more, people learn more, people help each other a lot. Last year it was very not dry. People used to talk about it. People, even contributors used to talk about their problems, and other contributors used to help them. So unlike last year, this year it is very dry relatively. I think this, my personal opinion. And what you can do as a contributor to improve it. Okay, so talking about imposter syndrome, you have to first know that you are experiencing an imposter syndrome. Okay, that you just feel you don't belong, but it's not true. Okay, although you might be a little unskilled, but you can learn with time. Or maybe, who knows, you are overqualified for the job, but you just have a confidence issue. So that's one thing. And then pragmatically set small and attainable goals. Okay, like this day I'm going to learn this. Try to break things into smaller and smaller parts. That would be perfect. Okay, even tasks, break it into smaller parts, and break the goals for every day into smaller parts. Like, I'm going to do this thing in this week. I'm going to achieve this much in one day, or I'm going to achieve this much in 2 hours, something like that. So that you'll know how to learn more, make more use of your time, be more productive, and then with time become skilled enough to contribute to a project, or to a specific project. And don't hold back. Your knowledge is required, because I know a friend. He tried to contribute to a project, but then what happened is he also definitely faced imposter syndrome. I believe he contributed to CNCF. Okay, and what happened was, he was into UX. So when he was definitely facing an imposter syndrome. He thought he doesn't belong. But in a meeting with a mentor, he told him that the information architecture is not very good. So he gave him a better information architecture, which the mentor really liked. Coming from a beginner, the mentor really liked the information architecture, and they actually implemented it. And the mentor showed it to other people in the team. So your knowledge is really required. Who knows, you might have something to offer special, right? Because let's say whatever your age is, every person has a different experience, right? So you might have explored something which other even mentors have not experienced. Every person has a different life experience. So that's one thing. And then ask for feedbacks, ask for reviews, ask for improvements. And I would say that making mistakes is a part of the learning process. Okay. And even when there are some flaws pointed out, or I would say it more of an improvement, I think it's a good thing that you are actually getting feedback. So that's one thing. And ask for help. Okay. Nobody knows everything. This is software engineering. It's all about learning. The career itself is a steep learning curve. So nobody knows everything. Ask other people for help. Okay, it will help you a lot. And I mean, come on. To be honest, this domain itself is a perpetual learning curve. Everybody keeps learning. It doesn't matter if you are a professional or a beginner. So even professionals are learning. Then as a beginner, you definitely have to learn. Ask other people. And one thing which is very important is don't compare yourself. So someone who has contributed for a year, you are comparing them with you, or someone who is a professional in the field, you are comparing yourself with them. That's not really pragmatic. It's not practical or sensible at all. It doesn't make sense at all. How bad is it? I mean, your self-esteem is definitely going to go down if you compare with those people, right? Now, when I came in, relatively, I haven't done much, right? I don't have very big achievements or anything relative to other people. When you see mentor Andreu, mentor Yash, and other people, Ryan, Gozie, Mahinour, Manas, relative, I haven't done much when it comes to that. There are a lot of experience that these people have, which I don't have. And if I start comparing myself with them, then I am definitely going to have a low self-esteem. But I bring my own value. That's one thing, right? And you have to remember that. And one thing which might sound, a bit shady, but fake it till you make it actually works. So sometimes if you bluff something, you might actually make it happen, right? So that's one thing, and you might show that you are very good sometimes, and that would actually work. But then what if you think yourself as while bluffing, you get into this fake feeling that you are actually a pro and you develop yourself that way. So it actually does work. I mean, it has worked for me, and it will definitely work in your case as well. But that does not mean that you be fake the entire time. Learn with it. And one thing, if you are wrong, that doesn't mean you are a fake, you are a fraud or an imposter. Okay, being wrong is okay. Everyone is wrong at some point in time. Okay, and give yourself credit for what you have done till date, what you have achieved till date. Even if it is something small, other people have not achieved that as well. Okay, and talking about imposter syndrome in general, as a whole, just know that literally everyone faces it. Okay, and you have to confront it and upskill it. Irrespective, any influencer, any tech person you admire faced imposter syndrome in the beginning. Okay, so it definitely is. It's something like everyone starts somewhere, right? So imposter syndrome is definitely going to come in the beginning, and with time you'll learn a lot, and with time you'll pick it up, and you'll be out of it. Okay, so Ryan, any thoughts on whatever I said?
I don't want to make a joke on this, but Vedant, you can talk also for 20 seconds that you've been away for more than a week doing the spiritual thing. This has inspired to you, I'm pretty sure.
Right, and I just thought that it would be very, very off topic, considering it is a tech discussion. But let me tell you about this
personal thing. Remember, we are not only talking about tech; we are talking about ourselves and things like you do with the imposter syndrome.
Okay. So that's good to hear. Okay, so let me tell you something very, very interesting. Okay, there is something called Vipassana meditation. If you even Google it, you will understand. Okay, it is a 10-day meditation course. So in 10 days, what you have to do is every day you have to meditate 11 hours each day. So at the end of the 10 days, you have like 105 or 110 hours of meditation, in your pocket. So that's one thing, and you learn a lot. And these entire 10 days, you do not have your mobile phone, so it's very good if you have any attention deficiency thing or something like that, and your focus improves a lot. So that's one thing. And one very difficult thing is to not talk to anyone, even a word. It's called a noble silence. You don't even have to utter a single word to anyone over these 10 days. And even if you try to talk to someone, they will outright ignore you. So it's better to not talk at all. So, the objective of it is, you have to think about yourself. You have to be within yourself, try to look inside yourself. So that's one thing. I believe irrespective.
I imagine you being so difficult because you talk a lot. You like to talk a lot.
Right.
Remember, you are our poet mentor. So you stay 10 days without saying any word to anyone.
Yeah. Yes. I would agree to that, because by the third day I was trying to find escape routes. I was trying to find broken gates or broken fences where I can escape. But the food there was really nice, so I stayed.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So the food actually is very, very, very tasty. And talking about that, everything is free. Okay, if you are thinking about the cost, everything is free, and the organization has more than 400 centers all over the world, more than 200 right here in India, and in every country it has centers. So be it Spain, Nigeria, Canada, Egypt, every country. So that's one thing, and it is really difficult in the beginning, but I would say irrespective of whoever you are, I mean, I'm also encouraging my parents to go there. So irrespective of who you are, what your age is, I think you should definitely try it. And there is not one, not two, but tons of benefits of it.
Okay.
You will yes, please
I
consider.
told you 30 seconds and you've been 3 minutes. You have still 10 seconds.
Okay, right. So yes, I would say everyone should try it at least once. Okay, and then you'll realize how much you've been growing with your work, and
Okay.
it would be very good for
We've
everybody.
been 1 hour and a half, so we are, I would say, late. So let's go for the last person, please, Vedant.
Right. Okay. So mentor Yash.
Yeah. So just before I start, I wanted to just tell about that Vipassana. So Vedant told me about it, and here's the joke. I told him that if you start a new religion, I'd be the first guy to join.
Yes, definitely, because it sounds like a cult, right? Not
Yeah.
talking to anyone.
I was under the impression that he would meditate, he would start floating in the air, and then he would just start a new religion, which I have to join. So.
Yes, start airbending at some point.
All right. So what I'm here to talk about is about user experience, something that you may see or subconsciously you see whenever you are trying some product. May it be, let's say, YouTube. So whenever you go to YouTube, let's say you are just watching a video, and let's say you are in a library right now. So you cannot just open it up. Let's say you do not have your earphones with you. Then what would you do? You will just use the captions maybe and put it on silent. And let's say you also use captions when the video is in a different language, in a different dialect. Maybe you do not understand that speed of their English, and you just try to understand with the help of captions. So the captions are actually a feature for you, and also they are a necessity for someone who simply cannot hear. And this is why we bring in user experience for accessibility and making things enabled for people who have disabilities. So my work for user experience has been, even with my company, even try to improve things whenever I am, let's say, developing or designing some part of the Liquid Galaxy web and some other of my own apps. So the main concern, the main focus is if people of all criteria, having a neurodiverse criteria, having some sort of disability, maybe it could be some sort of disability regarding attention, regarding, let's say, there's a paralysis below the neck, maybe he just wants keyboard navigation. These things really do matter, and they help you become a better person. They help you grow out and just do something for the better community. And also to tell you, like 15 to 20% or more than 1 billion part of this world is neurodiverse. So they are suffering from one of the categories of these neurodiversity problems, and we should have a solution to find it. It could be that they would result in they would watch your website or watch your app, or they would just experience or interact with it, and they would have a bad experience. And the best benefit is that if you make your website or your app more friendly, user friendly, if you add these features, it is also helpful for those who do not have those neurodiversity categories. So for the able people also it is a benefit. Let's say you have added a good contrast ratio, something that is having good color pop-ups, you are able to see it correctly. So someone who has a bad eyesight can also see it, while let's say you are walking in the sun and there is a certain glare, then also you are as an able person able to see it as well. So these are some of the things that I try to have a knack on. User experience is not just UI, it is not just how things have the look or just say how the typography or the sizes of things. It is based on user feedbacks. It is based on interacting with the users, getting some feedbacks, doing some research. Today, I circulated some survey forms before starting a new product, and these are some of the things that I really enjoy. And also want to mention that this is also at big companies. Small companies are also starting up. The company I work at is like just a startup which is just growing out, and they have this role. The reason why we have this role is a user experience engineer is like you are building, you are walking on a road that is just building. So you are trying to make things work in both design aspect, seeing the technical feasibility of those design and finally making the development parts of them as well. Sometimes you're writing algorithms, so a UX engineer can wear multiple hats, and I would say it is a really interesting role to be in, or I would say to dive in. So there are multiple benefits, and I would say how Google sees it is all of their products are built for everyone, which has been their motto for so long. So they would want their products to be accessible by the people who have these disabilities, and they just focus on one thing, that you focus on the user and everything else will follow. And this role has like helped me kept a job at a senior level. So I believe that this particular just rule can be your rule of thumb that you can apply for various categories. So let's say you are developing an app, you're developing some website, you can always think that, or as any part of any technology, just think of the user and how the user will interact with it. Think of the features the user might want. And whenever you are placing the user, maybe balancing it with the business goals or the business needs, and finally you are developing a solution that cannot fail. And I would say that is the best part of being a user experience engineer. And yeah, that was everything I wanted to show here.
And I think 1 billion. I didn't know that
more than 1 billion.
1 billion is like a crazy number. It's
so if you go to the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, which has set up the rule set, or the WCAG, which major companies like Apple, Google, Microsoft, Meta, and etc. are following. So you will see that they have mentioned it that some countries have also made it a legal law that you are bound to follow the things of accessibility or the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. So it is like something that we must do, and it is a sense of responsibility in everyone to do it.
Yes, this is a nice point, Yash. I remember, I don't know if you have had the opportunity to see US television, and in US television there is a law that it is a must for them to include subtitles on every content. It is a news program in real time, or it's a movie or whatever. It has to be always subtitles ready for the accessibility in need people. It's curious. So there are countries that have very tight laws to the respect. Talking about the television, that of course, television I would say is a content that lots of people uses, surely more than web applications or whatever. So it's curious. Questions?
Yes. Okay. And talking about Google, even Google I/O has an American Sign Language version on YouTube when it streams. So that's one thing. Okay. So Ryan, any thoughts on the topic?
It's very, very hard to find the unmute button. My bad. But yeah, I think it's very, very important. Oh, sorry. I think it's very, very important to kind of keep in facts, because I think like from my project, I've also very like heavily thought about like accessibility for my future for as well. Like I was trying to like say what my use cases are and how many people I can impact and how easier would this make for other users to like access, so like no one can have like minimal restrictions for everything. So I think it's very important to always consider that. But yeah, very happy that I guess this is where it's going for the projects and like, our ideas. Yeah.
We have to remember that Ryan's project this year is about integrating artificial intelligence voices to the other projects, to the other GSoC and future projects. So it's a totally accessibility feature, because interacting only by voice to give the commands to the Liquid Galaxy or to listen to the commands will make it easier. We have been doing this for years now, using Google Assistant or other kind of Arduino-based whatever libraries for TTS and so on. But this year, with the push of the artificial intelligence models for voice and Ryan's work, I think it's going to be nice, and maybe at the end of GSoC we can interact with the Liquid Galaxy by voice. Go.
Yes, that's the goal. And by the way, talking about projects, and Mentor Yash also mentioned about contrast in text. So if you are a contributor and if you are watching this, Then there is something called A11Y checker in Mentor.js open source in Mentor.js GitHub. And Mentor.js, would you like to tell them about it, which would be really helpful for them?
Yeah. So the first day I entered my company, the first thing I built was the contrast checker. I was seeing that some designs, some patterns were not following up with the website guidelines, and just like I wanted to let them know that there is this perspective as well, because they were front end engineers, they were back end engineers, but there was not a single UX engineer, and we did not have that paradigm of the UX engineers so much in depth at the company. But yeah, it is going really well now. So the very first things was to understand the needs of the various typography, how a screen reader reads it out based on the, let's say, the font sizes of those typography. Something which is a heading is already read out loud than the other things. Something which is an image has to be supported with an alternative text, because there are people who cannot see it. In the alternative text, you do not have to write things like colors or anything, because that are not something the blind person would be able to recall or understand. So these things and the things that you must be checking with, let's say, the accessibility controls, the Chrome box is a very good tool to be checking the screen reader perspective. And there are multiple such tools for various, let's say, for the keyboard inputs and other tools for accessibility. You have the Chrome Lighthouse, which actually tells for the web whatever are the problems. And these are all the things which Google has dealt with in so much depth that they have given us such good tools. So yeah, just check out the accessibility contrast checker. I will just provide the link in the Discord, and it will be very helpful for anyone who just want to check between background and foreground colors.
Right. Yes. Manas, your thoughts on it?
Yes. I am also currently going to be using different accessibility settings like voice, and also different themes which I'm going to be implementing along with searching cities, etc. I'll be using the voice to text versions, etc. So it can be done without manual inputting the data.
Wow, nice. Good to hear. Also use the 11Y checker. And Gozie, your thoughts on it, please?
All right, so this is very important, because I normally give accolades to those in the UI UX engineers, those that really think about how the application is going to be to make everybody to be all inclusive, irrespective of your disability or incapability, so that you can be able to use the application. I mean, it's very, 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 very important. Yeah.
Right. And in the beginning, I used to think and it was really bad of me. I used to think that the number of disabled people are very small, and maybe they won't use my application, so why care about it? And it was really bad of me, and I really feel bad about it to this day. Later on, I realized that it is very important to include them, and the amount of them, it's not less. And, just being compassionate towards human beings, it's very important to consider them. And that's the smallest amount of contribution you can throw their way.
But then also there is a question. I mean, there are many kinds of levels of disabilities, so of accessibility users. So there are persons that need just a letter increase or menu, character size or contrast or voiceover, or there are many, I mean, listening, seeing, talking, using their hands, or I mean, accessibility is a very large thing, and you can do small steps. Trying to do all the steps is hard, really hard, but you can try to increase and do small things, and this will help. So you say that you thought that there were not too much people with disabilities, but it depends. So just think about, and I'm starting to become an old guy, think about that all persons, we start to need glasses. Young persons also. I'm not saying no one here in the chat with glasses, but just this point, use the typical simple things to increase the size of your interface in the text or in the widgets or whatever. So there are small steps for very large audiences that are not, I would say, not with real problems, but with need of accessibility. What else, Vedant?
Yes. So That was me a few years ago. So because I didn't know that accessibility usually is a concept in normal software development, even if you have to develop something basically like in the font, contrast issues. That all I learned from mentor Yash.
That's
Okay,
good.
so
Yash,
Mahinour,
you teach something to Vedant. That's great. You got some inspiration.
Today I also learned about the imposter syndrome from Vedant, so thank you. It was really insightful. Even I have faced that at some point. I was also in that very category. I would say I would sit myself and I would think that I'm going nowhere with what I have. Especially, I would say when you go to colleges like I have gone and you see other people around who have been doing so much, and then you think, what have I done? The only accomplishment is that all the other college mates also have. So that was the one of the parts.
Yeah.
right? Don't compare yourself with others. Okay, Mahinour, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I think user experience is very important, and to make sure that every person can use the application and to ensure that you are tackling every accessibility out there is very important. At the beginning, I used to think that UI and UX is the same thing. I didn't understand the main difference between them, and I didn't get how important UX is until, of course, I learned it from Mentor Yash too. So thank you for this. And that's it.
Great. So yes, I think that was it. That was the end of our first successful
1 hour 50
learning curve.
minutes, 2 hours almost. That's a lot.
Next time we'll have a 2-hour
Ryan
podcast.
is having his stomach doing. I want to go breakfast, and most of the other people want to go. I was dinner. No, it's not dinner time still. So let me close this because we are, I will say we are a little bit long. Next episode that will be not alpha, will be for real. This has been for real also, but will be a little bit improved. So again, please remember to insert in your script some images with good links or videos, because if not, I was trying to show some information about the things you talk. And finally, or not finally, Vedant, I ask our half person, Gemini, I ask it to create an image representing the imposter syndrome, and yes, it answers me, I can't create images yet. So the version I have from Gemini can create images. So I'm not able to help with you. Next time in the next program, Ryan, maybe you can help me on this. We can have Gemini talking, not only on screen, but also talking. This will be very nice. So think about it. So let me close with that. We are. It's been a long program. Again, next Thursday, it's 2020, I think. We have the artificial intelligence meet for the Galaxy community. We'll be live streaming. All the 7 students that are working on artificial intelligence will be presenting whatever they are doing, and we will be talking about different opportunities, and maybe we adjust some changes. And again, I think we are gonna do the next, that will be episode 2. Reserve your calendar for July 2 at 5 p.m. Central European Time. This means that we give Ryan another hour to sleep. Not wake up as much early. Another hour. It will be not 6:30 or 7:30. It will be a little bit late. Nothing else. I think it's been fun. I want to thank you all for coming today and sharing your tech ideas and your personal stuff like the imposter syndrome and so on, and comments. And again, see you on next Thursday or July 2. We'll be making the second episode of the GSoCquers streaming. So thank you very much for attending, and see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.